What's up YouTubers? And today I'm going to be talking about 5 of my favourite anime male lead characters. So just as the title says guys, I'm going to be talking about 5 male characters that are the leading roles within the anime and talk about why they are my favourite. It could be because of their role in the story, it could be because of the character development, or maybe because I like the look of them. And don't you worry, people who are in the comment section getting ready to call me a woman hater for not mentioning any women. There'll be a list coming up in the future where I talk about 5 of my favourite female characters. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that. And if you like this video guys, go ahead and leave a like down below. I hear only people who are main characters can hit the like button and can actually leave a like. And of course guys, these are my personal opinions, so let me know your favourite male lead character down in the comment section below. I should really make a point to point out guys that since I'm talking about the anime that these characters are coming from, there's going to be spoilers relating to that anime. So if you haven't seen their animes, I recommend you give them a watch before you go into the list, or at least skip that entry and go to the next one. To start off this list, we're going to be meeting up with the Shield hero, Naofumi Irutami, from the Rising of the Shield Hero. I got really drawn into this character's story literally from episode 1, being isekai'd thanks to a bug and being bonded to a shield, only for the people of the world to hate him because of some hate already towards the shield. And of course the hate goes towards him with being betrayed and outcast for something that he didn't even do. Having to do questionable things just to survive, such as picking up a slave. The story really makes you want to hate this character, but at the same time you remember that he's outcast because of the people around him, so you kind of understand where he's coming from and why he has to do all this. And going on this journey, he's a good guy. You see his good actions being there for other people as well. Even going on his way to help the people that the 3 cardinal heroes don't even go and help. They just go after the big bad and don't care about the casualties along the way. And you're supposed to hate the shield hero? Doesn't seem right to me. And of course along the way we see the shield hero get a cursed power, which is supposed to literally be the embodiment of what everyone is thinking the shield is. So Naofumi's story is literally fighting against ill thoughts that are towards him, or because of something that's not his fault. So of course when Naofumi chooses to finally team up with the rest of the cardinal heroes taking on the Pope, and the big trial happens that finally puts Trash and Bitch in their place. Serious, that's their name, and I'm going to keep calling them that. You finally feel relief for Naofumi being able to finally be seen as the true hero he is, and not this fake persona that was thrust upon him. When Naofumi's name became cleared, I was extremely happy. That episode was a long time coming, and I'm glad that it got brought into season 1 and didn't make him drag out the pain and misery of something that wasn't his doing for another season. Though if I gotta be honest, I do sympathize a little bit more with Naofumi in the manga. The trial played out a little differently within the manga. Naofumi really wanted revenge against the two that put him in this situation, but the Queen had to actually talk him out of it. I think everyone will be exactly like Naofumi in the manga. They wouldn't really feel regret for the trial and the end result of literally dragging someone's name through the mud. I know that a lot of people will say no, that's not true, but we're humans. We're selfish creatures. But I still like Naofumi in the anime played a little differently, actually making them suffer with the deeds that they've done by changing their name. And at the end of season 1, he got the reward he truly deserved. A place of his own, a place where the followers of the shield hero, so to speak, could live in peace and not get judged for liking the shield hero. And I still like that in season 2, Naofumi still had to deal with the aftermath of what they did. Having to work together with enemies and even quote unquote be sent back to the beginning, all because they got sent to a different world, made things pretty interesting. It even shows that he thinks of Raftalia and Philo as more than just servants. Thanks to this journey, we really get to see he sees them as irreplaceable friends. He says they're friends during the end of season 1, but this really embodies that they mean more than that to him. And I definitely know when season 3 comes out, now we will be facing more problems that the world has given him. Having to deal with stuff that wasn't even his doing. I'm not going to spoil what's going to come up in season 3 because I know what will happen thanks to the manga. But I know I'll be cheering now for me on to the very end. And I can't wait to see the next adventure that him, Raftalia, and Philo will have coming up. Next one we'll be talking about is Agent 9029, Yuji Kazumi from the Fruits of Grisea. If you've been on this channel for quite a while, you know I really love the Fruits of Grisea. Being a story where these characters look very innocent, but traumatizing things that happen to them because of things out of their control. And Yuji is no exception. When we first meet Yuji in the Fruits of Grisea, we know that he's a former military operative. But using the skills that he learned within the military to help these characters out, I really sympathize with him. He's going out of the way when nobody would. It takes a true man to go above and beyond to help people like these, while also suffering from his own dark past. We don't get to see his past in the Fruits of Grisea. We see it in the movie and season 2. And I honestly sympathize with him because of the movie and season 2. Nobody should go through all of that. Starting off in a neglectful family that praise his sister more than him, to the point that they don't even look at him, being taken away and being forced to be an assassin, to finally be saved by someone, to finally live somewhat of a normal life, even though he's no longer the person he used to be. To look up to his savior, to even take on the codename of 9029, to finally choose to go to a high school where he can finally live a normal life, then help out all the girls, only for the story to go complete 180 and make him face everything that's happened to him again. The world may be against Yuji for existing, but at least he's finally living a normal life at the end. He is a good man in my opinion, and I'm happy that he got a happy ending. Now I know the Fruits of Grisea is mainly a game series, with the anime being an adaptation of those games. So I have no idea if the story continued on afterwards, but I honestly hope it does not. Let him have a happy life. I can feel the confusion coming, so let's just jump straight to the Red Dragon Emperor, Issei Hyodo from High School DXD. Now I know a lot of people would think I like High School DXD for its fan service. Don't get me wrong, the fan service is amazing. The animation is amazing. Yes, even the 4th season, when they swapped from sharp to smooth, it still looks pretty good. So why would I like Issei Hyodo? He's literally a pervert. The girls know it. They like when he pervs. So why would I like Issei Hyodo? When we first meet Issei, he goes on his first ever date with a girl that seemed really interested in him, only for him to die from her and get rescued by Rias. Thanks to that encounter with Rias, he then meets up with 3 other people and becomes friends with them. He then meets Asia, a holy woman, and chooses not to be a perv, but to instead help her out, forming a bond with her. And of course, he then grows a little bit from that bond, even going out of his way to try and rescue her, and feeling real distraught from watching her die. And the killer being his former girlfriend who tried to kill him, beating her up was probably more therapeutic than he thought. Luckily, Rias and his friends were there to help him out and to save Asia. I'm going to jump a little bit forward now to season 3, but season 2, in my opinion, is good if you guys want to know. Because that's where we get to see the trauma within Issei. He's living his best life. He's finally getting a little glimpse into the world that he wanted. Being surrounded by girls, being surrounded by women that he just loves and loves him. But still in the back of his mind being traumatized by the girl who killed him. That's probably a bit harsh. But luckily, the other girls knew why and did it in the most fan-servicey way possible. But luckily they got Issei to admit why. He was traumatized by his first date. He can't fully trust the girls. Yes, he is perving on them, and they are feeding it. But the realization that even though, yes, they've gone through hell and back all together, that Issei still can't trust them to even try and have a proper relationship with them. Man, that's deep. And keep in mind, Issei's helped them out loads of times. He's taken on a devil king. He's taken on a leader of the fallen angels. His former girlfriend. He's taken on his polar opposite, the White Dragon Emperor. Best fight scene ever. And in turn, his friends have helped them out. So to finally admit that he's been scared to fully trust them to even go into a relationship, even after all that, just shows the trauma he's had behind them. And I say after that point, finally admitting all that to the girls, to finally admit it to himself that this is why he's been acting like that, that to me shows a huge character development for him. Finally revealing his heart to them. Now to be fair, we do see that a little bit through season 1, 2, 3. I admit already, I like the fan service. I think it's funny fan service to me. But the thing that made me stay to High School DXD is the characters, mainly Issei, watching him grow, change, help the girls out. And the pervertness. And I'll see better at the end of this, Issei has fully given up his dream on being the Heron King and chooses to be a better man for Rias and the girls. Let's swing things round to the worst one. I mean, another one! Iki Kurogame from Chivalry of a Failed Knight. I think you guys are starting to see a pattern on why I like these characters. Iki suffers terribly as a child, being told that he cannot become a magical knight, and his family going out of the way to make sure that he does not become a success. Even not being able to take part in the classes, holding back a year because of it, and making sure he doesn't become a magical knight. So watching him pick himself up after being put down over and over again made me really like this character. Luckily he had friends to back him up as well, helping him pick himself up, with Stella, his roommate and girlfriend, being one of the first people to see his potential and encourage him to go on. Even yell at an entire school, calling him the worst one, saying that she prefers seeing him when he's looking up, giving him the encouragement to fight against an opponent that is literally sniping him while he's invisible. And by giving him encouragement, making him win fight after fight, his nickname got changed from the worst one to another one. Another victory for him. And thanks to his victory, even his classmates see him in a better light now, even taking lessons from him. Now that is just some true respect there. But that can only last so long, with his family interrupting again, putting him in the most terrible conditions, trying to set him up to lose. And when the time came for him to do the final challenge, where he faced off against the best student in the entire school, and being able to win in 1 second, that was truly amazing. He had my full respect and one of the best main characters in my personal opinion. Being able to go above and beyond, being able to fight against everything that's happened to him, being able to win with everything stacked up and collapsed onto him. No wonder he's one of the best main leads in my personal opinion. I only wish his story kept going. This might be a bit of a side rant and something that might happen in its own video, but I want Chivalry of a Failed Knight Season 2. Even if they change the fail part of the title, or the chivalry part, give me Chivalry of a Failed Knight Season 2. Give me Chivalry of the underdog, turned around knight. Give me the Rising of the Failed Knight. Those are terrible titles. Finally guys, this is a little bit of a cheat, but I'm counting it anyway. And that's the king of games himself, Yugi and Yami. From YuGiOh. Now, hold on you guys, I know, it's a bit of a cheat. 2 characters at once? Technically, yes and no. Throughout the majority of YuGiOh, Yugi and Yami have been one and the same. The only times they haven't really been one and the same person is within the last 2 seasons, 4 and 5. And of course, the final duel. So throughout a majority of the storyline, Yugi and Yami have been the same character. They learnt off each other. When one can't do it, the other will. Yugi has been known to be the shy character, but one that really loves games, wanting to make friendship, and believes that games can make that friendship happen. And Yami's his former pharaoh, the one who saved Egypt 5,000 years ago and took part within the original Shadow Games. With Yami's memory loss clouding his judgment, even nearly making an attack happen that made Kaiba lose his life, even though Kaiba was willing to sacrifice his life in order to win the game, Yugi actually had to interfere in order to save Kaiba. And from that one event, Yami saw Yugi differently and chose to help him. Through that one action caused probably one of the most deepest friendships that ever happened within all of anime. With Yugi's kindness rubbing off on Yami, showing him that winning isn't everything. And Yami's courage to take a stand even when the odds are stacked against him gave Yugi the confidence to move forward even after Yami leaves. Even after all this time, YuGiOh is still one of my favourite animes because of that. Yes, I still play the game, but YuGiOh will always be one of my favourite animes. It may be nostalgia blinding me, but if I can say these two have given me one of the most deepest friendships within all of anime, then of course it's still going to be one of my favourites. You can see this bond even showing when they have to face off against each other in the final duel. With Yami even saying that he knew that Yugi was going to defeat the Egyptian gods. And Yami knowing that Yugi needed the pep talk because Yugi was scared to face off the Egyptian gods and be on his own. And Yami knowing what to say, even proving that Yugi helped him, even referencing that duel against Kaiba when Kaiba was willing to risk it all. And of course this friendship still even shows within the dark side of the Dimensions movie. With Yugi being on his own, still thinking about Yami. Because keep in mind at this current time within the Dark Side Dimensions, it's probably been like a week or a month since they've left. Not enough time to really process what's happened. But even though everyone around him is reminding him of the Pharaoh, Kaiba trying to solve the Millennium Puzzle to bring the Pharaoh back, and even this new bad guy trying to wipe Yugi off the face of the earth to make sure the Pharaoh doesn't have a way to come back, Yugi still chooses to go on as himself, not wanting the Pharaoh to be there, but choosing to take a stand and be there as support. Yes, the Pharaoh did come back and help Yugi win, but the Pharaoh didn't stay. He still chose to leave and even took the Millennium Puzzle away, just so that way this wouldn't happen to Yugi again. They never said it, but it was definitely proven with how they just stared, and even with that intense stare-off, managed to say everything that they needed to say. To me, Yugi will always be the king of games. But Yami and Yugi together, they're the gods of games. And there we have it, guys. 5 of my favourite male anime lead characters. There's no way I can make that title shorter, is there? I know the list is a bit all over the place, but that's what makes it interesting. I know these 5 characters are probably not everyone's first choice when it comes to favourite male leads, but I still like these male characters because of what they teach us, the readers, the watchers, whichever you want to call yourself. And I know I can relate to these characters very deeply, either as a fellow gamer, or as someone that gets pushed to a side because of differences of opinion, or because I'm just different incarnate. This is probably a subject I'm going to visit again in the future, but for now I'm pretty happy with this list. So what are your guys' favourite male leads? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like these type of videos, guys, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on other future videos. Heck, we've even done themed animes if you want to have a look at those kinds of lists. So we're going to wrap things up now, guys. So until next time, this is me, signing out. Bye-bye.